Welcome to the first edition of the Lindsey Patrick-Wright Report. Every week, we are going to take a look at 3 bills, one that we support, one that we oppose, and one that we're keeping an eye on. On Mondays, we will post the 3 bills that we're keeping an eye on. On Tuesday, you will receive a video like this. Now, the algorithms like our videos to be short, so these videos probably aren't going to go into great detail about each of these. But the good news is that on Thursdays, I will post on my Substack more information about these bills, how you can get involved, and if there's any organizations that have a petition or have a phone bank that's going, it will link you directly to that. I think sometimes people are hesitant to get involved in politics or campaigns because the legislative process is burdensome and it's difficult to understand, it's difficult to follow, and sometimes that's by design. So one of the goals of our campaign is to make politics more accessible for Tennesseans so that we can actively participate. So if there's a piece of legislation that you're concerned about or you're confused about, drop it in the comments below or send us a direct message, and we would love to help break it down for you. So let's get into it. We're going to start with a bill we oppose. That is Senate Bill 1767, also known as the Tennessee mRNA Sovereignty and Freedom Act. Basically, this bans the administration of the mRNA vaccine to humans and animals. It will propose penalties and violations and is planned to go into effect January 1st, 2027. Now, the reason I oppose this is very simple. I believe that medical decisions should be made between the patient and the doctor, full stop, the end. A bill that we're keeping an eye on is Senate Bill 837. Now, at its surface, this bill looks like it's addressing AI and the proliferation of AI in our world today. However, in 2025, the original legislation has some pretty troubling language defining fetal personhood. Obviously, when folks like you and I hear that fetal personhood is being defined by the Tennessee legislature, our spidey senses start tingling, and we know we need to keep an eye on it. However, the House bill that accompanies the Senate bill currently has an amendment attached to it that nullifies that fetal personhood language, therefore making this a bill that could be innocuous. We're waiting to see if that amendment is also going to be attached to the Senate bill. So that's why we're keeping an eye on it. Stay tuned for more information. Now, I intend to end every Lindsey Patrick-Wright report with a bill that we love because it's always good to end on a positive note. And the bill that we love is Senate Bill 1809, sponsored by Senator Sarah Kyle. Now, this bill would require local school boards to provide free breakfast and lunch for all of their students. It seems like a no-brainer, right? Feeding hungry kids. And if you live in Nashville or Memphis, you're probably thinking, well, we already have that. Well, we don't have it across the state. As a public librarian, I often got those kids in the public library after school, and they were hungry then. And we made sure that we had healthy snacks available because a hungry kid cannot learn. A hungry kid cannot focus, and a hungry kid cannot follow direction. So in addition to the positive impacts this would have on our students and their ability to learn and focus, think about the repercussions that would have for our teachers too. Because if you have ever had to deal with a hungry child, you know it is not a pleasant experience. So this bill would have a positive impact on our Tennessee students, our teachers, our administrators, but it would also impact Tennessee families. Even if our families don't qualify for the free or reduced lunches that are available to them, they're still struggling every day to pay their bills. So this would relieve some of that financial burden on everyday Tennessee families. And that's what our campaign is about, supporting Tennessee families. Thank you for joining me for the first Lindsey Patrick-Wright Report. These will be weekly. If you found this helpful, please consider sharing this. The more eyes that we have on our campaign, the better we're able to accomplish our goal of increasing transparency in Tennessee politics.